Welcome to TradeTheMBA.com. This is John. This report is for October 25th. As we get close to the infamous end of October, we're still flying high at the, well, near highs. Getting pretty close to it here, above 3,000 still. And rising gold. So we expected the pressure was to push towards the upside of it. We're just in a flat line here with short-term buyers, flat line with long-term buyers, and even the green midterm. I mean, this is just like sideways action, but still the ranges are within what we were expecting the other day, which was between that 3,008 and then moving down towards the 94. We didn't even get down to the 94, so it stayed way above the ABM yellow, which I'll put that up there so we can see what the numbers are. Right there, the same 2990 we've been talking about. It's been a while here, and kind of holding on a stasis point here as we're just continuing to rise with shakeout. Poses both vulnerabilities as well as opportunity. The question was whether or not we were going to get a green rise over the red as well as a steel move, but we're not seeing any interest at this particular point as we head into end month. We've had some interesting earnings. I think it was Amazon. I can put that chart up for you that reported. I mean, it's down in pre-market, a little breakdown below the lows here. It was in a short continuation here from this move with the steel not resetting, even though you had super oversold, dipped below the red line, and then it had risen up, and then it started to fade right here as it peaked out right there around the 1750 range, and it's just been sideways. We would call it continuation to the downside here with the orange caught in between, and so not a shock that's going, even though it had the strong P2 capability, and that could not get a turnover. So there were some people that knew. Looking at the NASDAQ, it had already attempted to push a little bit higher. We knew that the NASDAQ was in a far more bullish configuration than the S&P was. And we'll see how some of these earnings start to weigh down on it. The Brexit continued debacle, the call for new elections, and that has some people spook. But we expected some type of a retrace into the euro to fill in these positive extremes from right back over here. Is it happening a little earlier than we might have expected? Yeah, because this is still somewhat bullish, so it's just sort of like a reset from the overdone conditions that had kind of started with the gold rising here. Now we have falling Morganacci, so that's going to try and keep it pulled up a little bit, at least for a while. But any other negative news could really drive it down to fill in that positive extreme. We'll keep an eye on it. Oil spiking back up, which is healthy. That's an indication that not all is lost from an economic standpoint. And gold just maintaining in that oversold category with the dips below the red line. Still going to keep revisiting those. It's probably going to stay range bound. From an intraday standpoint, I thought it was pretty good. I mean, we had the nice early rise going up, DOC spread that started with the spike that whether you took it from the bar, I usually put the signal right after it happens. In this case, the start of the new bar would have been the magenta one right here. At the beginning of it was already a DOC spread, and you had your first dip of the shakeout going right there. That led to a nice move. Didn't quite get to the 94, so there was buyers even before that point. That caused the turnaround. Some pops. Didn't have a steel reset until right over here in the mid-range. And it gave one last little pop before you had the serious steel cross below. You still had green well underneath. So even within this little pop in price back up to the highs, you were looking at some very negative stuff going on. And that just continued to break down. And that just refilled back into the lows and then just kind of bounced back and forth through there. And then as we headed back to the end of the day, had a nice little buy that moved us right back up to that 308, which has just been a tough part for them to hold on to. And this is what I was talking about from the video before. If you couldn't hold that 3008, we're going to be pushing back down. But that we haven't got down to the 94 means that there's still a nice buying range in between here. And this is clearly some accumulation within that zone range. So overall, we're heading towards a potential another bullish little spot right here with the green popping back above. That led to a nice little bounce back up. So it's a back and forth action within this kind of flat period. So I think that you just got to play the ranges at this particular point because you're not getting a trending situation as of yet. We'll see it earliest here on the 5K. So you start breaking above that 3,008, and of course, obviously with that 2990, we're not even near that from an ABM standpoint. So you stay above that, still got to push towards potential for higher. So that's the long and the short of it. Pretty straightforward, clean action. No complaints whatsoever. But as always, I'll keep putting up little charts as everything develops. Have a great weekend as we get ready for the end of month and the looming fear of the end of October and the historical crash situation. I don't know if we see anything that suggests that kind of thing as much as you hear the talk about it. This has been a pretty decent month overall. Just been kind of range bound, but giving quite a bit of volatility, which has really been nice. So we'll go with it, and as always, we'll talk again at the beginning of the week as we prepare for the start of November.